good show. It should be another exciting show. And I hope to drop some pearls on you and some bombs on you that you can really, really relate to. Why? Because it's Thursday. And hi, I'm Tim Alston, and welcome to the 10 Commandments of Leadership. I'm your host, Tim Alston. I'm a leadership strategist. I'm a four-time Amazon best-selling author, and I'm a recovering egoholic. And I'm glad to have you with us. As many of you know, and those of you who are first-timers, welcome to the show. On this show, the 10 Commandments of Leadership, we have two primary objectives. The first one is always to educate, to equip, and to empower emerging leaders with God-thought leadership. And our second objective is to present current events and newsmakers in the light of biblical best practices. Best practices from the Bible. What does the Bible say? Read an article I want to share with you. It came out of Entrepreneur magazine on the 25th, which was yesterday. And the opening line caught me. It said, leadership isn't what it used to be, and that's a good thing. That opening line stopped me cold, to be honest with you. But then it lit me up because I've lived that shift, and maybe you have too. Leadership used to be about symbols, a title, a suite, a resume packed with gold stars and name drops. But now, the workplace and the marketplace are demanding something a bit more human. We're no longer impressed with credentials without character. We're no longer impressed by voices without values, by swagger without substance. What is rising ahead instead? A new kind of leader. Not just the smartest person in the room, but the most honest, the most open, and yes, the most transparent. In this podcast, we're going to strip back the fig leaves, those modern day cover-ups that leaders use to hide poor listening, poor humility, and ultimately poor results. We'll uncover what egoholism really is and how to treat it. Because leadership begins not with power. True leadership begins with a mirror. Let's first talk about fig leaves, egoholisms, and executive branding. You remember the biblical story about the fig leaves, right? Adam and Eve hid behind them because they felt ashamed and separated from God. Why? Because they had sinned and they had violated the rules. But today's fig leaves are even more subtle. A polished LinkedIn bio, for example, that C-suite title, those 5 degrees on the office wall, even social media highlight reel. They're nice to have, sure they are. But none of these signal a healthy leader if they're just camouflaging, hiding behind a sick ego. I define fig leaves this way. I have turned fig leaves into an acronym. I'm a wordsmith. That's what I do. Fig leaves, Figleaves. Fig leaves, yes. They are the F, forgotten, I, ignored, G, God voids, in L, our lives, that we cannot E, escape, that we cannot A, avoid, because V, we're vulnerable to them until E, Emmanuel, translated God with us, S, saves us. So what are fig leaves? In my judgment, in my experience, they are the forgotten and ignored God voids in our lives that we cannot escape, that we cannot avoid, because we are vulnerable to them until Emmanuel saves us. They're the spaces we can't escape. They're the spaces we can't avoid. That's why I say that egoholism, which is the addiction to our own image, our own power, and even our own self-pity, is the unspoken epidemic in leadership today. Some leaders wrestle with their inflated egos, arrogance, defensiveness, my way or the highway thinking. Others battle the deflated egos, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, playing small. Both are equally dangerous. Both distort how we lead and how others experience us. And both are treatable, not by ego elimination. You need an ego to lead. God gave us an ego. God gave us, by definition, a sense of self. But we do this by ego management, egoholism management. And that's where we start. We start at the TOP at the top. T, we target the problem. In my 10 commandments of egoholism recovering, we begin with a 3 upfront actions. The first of it is this: T, target the problem. Nothing changes until it is named. I recall many years ago when Bob Schieffer, the former CBS anchorman, once said the hardest part of his cancer journey, the hardest part, was saying these words: I have cancer. That confession, not the chemo, not the treatment plan, that confession, that public confession, that was the starting point. The same with Peter Jennings, the ABC TV World News Tonight anchorman. He said the toughest part was saying out loud, I have cancer. James Baldwin said the same thing similarly when he said, the novelist once said, you cannot fix what you will not face. You cannot fix what you will not face. For many leaders, the problem isn't strategy, skill, or staff, it's ego. And until we target it, we'll stay stuck. That's T, target the problem. Then there's O, own the problem. Don't blame your zip code. Don't blame your zodiac or horoscope sign or your Zumba instructor. Own your problem, because God can't fix what we keep outsourcing. Jesus didn't ask the lame man at the pool to explain his community. He said, do you want to be made whole? Leadership transformation starts with the moment you say, it's me, it's me, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer and guidance. And after you T, have targeted and owned the problem, then P, proceed to action. You see, egoholism is not a one-time fix. Egoholism management is not a one-time fix. It's not curable, but it is manageable. Look at it the way you manage your lawn, your blood sugar, even your hairstyle. It's ongoing, it's daily, it's intentional. That's why we keep moving into now what are the 7 recovering steps. Step number 1, glance back quickly before driving forward. You have rear view mirrors for a reason. Use them, but don't stare in them. Your past contains clues, but not anchors. It holds truth tellers, those persons, places, and moments that shaped us. The lesson here, reflect, not reliving. Step 2, dig deeply. There are buried treasures under your trauma, inside your trauma. But first, we have to be brave enough to excavate, to dig them up. That means questioning the fig leaves, asking, is this title or trophy hiding something that I haven't yet revealed? Remember, leadership magnifies defects. What you don't process now will broadcast later. Just ask Andrew Cuomo in the recent New York mayoral race. Ask Bill Clinton. Just ask yourself. Don't have to go all the way there. Step 3 is become an active listener. Realize the fact that the same letters in the word listen, L-I-S-T-E-N, are the exact same letters that make up the word silent, S-I-L-E-N-T. That's not a coincidence. Great leaders speak less and hear more. Listening deflates the ego. Silence repositions the soul. Step 4, grow up to be a child. Jesus said, unless you become like little children. That was not just naivete, it was trust, curiosity, and vulnerability. Children are naturally hot, H-O-T, honest, open, transparent. Adults learn to fake it, but leaders must return to that core of being like a child again. Step 5, turn your bitter lemons into better lemonade, but then into best lemon meringue pie. Lemonade is fine, but how about dessert? This step is about stretching adversity into impact. Where most people see problems, entrepreneurs and emerging leaders see platforms and opportunities. Step 6, healing comes through revealing. D. Stuart Briscoe once said that the hardest 5 statements for a man to make are, I don't know, I was wrong, I was sorry, I need help, I'm afraid. Say those, and you've already begun the healing process. Transparency is magnetic. When you model honesty, others feel safe enough to join you in it. And step number 7, now that you know, go, elevate, and grow. Once you've walked these steps, don't hoard the healings. Write it down. Tell your story. Train your successor. Leadership isn't just about who followed you. It's about who rises because of you. So in conclusion, let me share with you. Corner offices are nice, but I'd rather have a hot leader than a modest cubicle, than a cold one behind a mahogany desk. The world is hungry for leaders who live what they post, who don't just brand, they become, who replace fig leaves with fruit, love, joy, peace, self-control. That's where egoholism ends and transformation begins. So if you're ready to stop managing impressions and start managing your ego, begin at the top, TOP. Start today. If what I've said to you in this episode hits home, share it with a fellow leader or a team member. And if you're ready for deeper work, check out my upcoming book when it comes out, 7 Steps to Transform Your Leadership, Managing Your Ego for Success. And the hashtags are hashtag egoholism recovering, hashtag hot leadership, hashtag leadership development, hashtag executive branding, hashtag fig leaves fall, hashtag TOP leadership. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with me today. I hope that in these past 12, 13 minutes that you've gained something that you can take with you, both into the workplace, into the home place, as well as into the worship place. Thank you. See you tomorrow as we end this week, the last full week of the month of June, of the second quarter, of the first half of this year, which is the first year of this new quarter century. We're living in history. Be a part of it.